Hello, everybody. We're back again for another episode here with the Informer. And I have a special guest, Mike Sanchez, creator of Kamot Mindanao, based in Canada, willing to talk about the group and give you some information about what they actually do. So, our guest tonight, welcome, Mike Sanchez.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, Mike. Yes. How are you, boss?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. So how's Canada? Where exactly are you in Canada, Mike? Yeah.
We are in British Columbia, Surrey, British Columbia. But many times when people ask, we just say Vancouver.
Vancouver. All right. Okay. So that's the best place to describe
Yeah,
where you are. Yeah.
the resort province.
All right. Okay. Cool. Well, Mike, I'm just gonna go straight to the point. Okay, I'm gonna
Good.
throw some questions. Nothing that you cannot answer. Okay, it's all about what you guys do. Okay, can you tell me about Kamot Mindanao to start with? What is Kamot Mindanao? Okay.
Okay, Kamot Mindanao is a kamot meaning the hand, because we have to draw the line between the Visayan kamot and the Tagalog kamot, because kamot in Tagalog is to scratch or kamot, right?
Yeah.
So the Visayan kamot is hand, so the hand of Mindanao, literally. Yeah.
What are your roots in martial arts? When did you? What did you started with? Okay, which one did you start?
I started with the Kodokan Judo in back in 1982. It's
Okay.
been a while, and I've been practicing judo for until actually until 10 years ago. And judo was my first art, but I used to practice the Shurin-ryu karate as well and the Aikido. But it was only on the 90s when I started training with Filipino martial arts.
All right.
And my lineage in Filipino martial arts is a what we call the Dusi Pares kangaroo fighting systems,
Okay.
or we always call it DUPAX by abbreviation, right? And our teacher is GM Manjares. He's a direct student of Kakoy Cañete.
Yeah.
So,
Cebuano. Cebuano. Yeah.
Cebuano, yes. And GM Manjares used to be the personal bodyguard of Senator Nini Pimentel.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a while. He's retired now, and I I reached the level of sixth dan before coming here, and so because we were together in the school where I taught, the Capital University in Cagayan de Oro, so I helped him develop the Dupax
Hmm.
and make the manual for him, help him, because I've seen lots of martial artists who train with him and become champions and never recognize him as the source, no?
Okay.
So I feel sorry for him. He was a good martial artist, literally,
Yes.
but I could say he lacks the things to document things.
All
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
the ability to document things. So I help him on that. And in fact, many people thought that I was the founder of Dupax, which is no, that's my GM. That's not me. So coming here to Canada, I teach my jiu-jitsu, because while I teach, I opened the university's judo club. Okay,
Okay.
but I have some students who are high school graduates, some are nursing students, no, and because many of my club members are maritime cadets.
All right. Yes.
Because the same school where I finished my marine engineering too. So we have this semi-military training. So like tough guys, you know. So my cadets are tough guys because they're trained to be, right? And
Mhm.
I have some students who came from the PT department, the nursing department, who asked me to formulate some programs to help them defend themselves.
Okay. Yes.
To make the story short, I ended up with all the what ifs.
Yes.
I ended up making a system that I literally call the Bushiru Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
being Filipino, I make sure that when it comes to the first dan lessons, which is the weapon, it should be harness
Okay.
because we're Filipinos, right? So when I arrived here in Canada and teaching my jiu-jitsu, I used to teach my jiu-jitsu back in Liverpool too.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Some friends there who are in their own classical jiu-jitsu too.
Mhm.
So I some black belts from Aikido, uh, the Korean black belts too. They train with my jiu-jitsu, and then when they became black belt, I just found out that the Dupax that we are using, the Dupax program, because I just absorbed the Dupax program to be the
Yes.
army for my black belts, right? And then
Okay.
later, I found out that it is not consistent with our movement in jiu-jitsu.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay? So the jiu-jitsu, because of time, it was from 1997, it evolved into something that I became a student of that system. No,
Yeah.
okay, I was the founder, I was the formulator, but no, please, I'm a student of the martial arts. So I have to adjust and adjust and adjust because we have a different perspective. So that irony system, that screma system, evolved from being a dupax to something else that we, Kokoy and I normally call it one shoot, one kill.
All right. Yeah.
So to respect my lineage, I have to call it in some other names because otherwise I'll be misrepresenting the art that my GM made, you know?
Yes. Yes.
That's why I call it in uh, the recognition of the people of Mindanao. So,
Yes.
as Kamot Mindanao, I've done research too because you don't just call a tree because of the leaves. You have to call a tree because of the tree himself, right?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
would mean from the branches to the roots. It
It's
has
still
to
true.
have that. You cannot just go, this is a tree if it is just a leaf,
Yes.
right? So I have to study. I used to have cousins from Lanao who practice silat.
All right. Yes.
Uh, but at that time, when I'm with judo base, I'm a Japanese base, so it's like I don't like them because they look dirty, you know,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
move like unstructurally. Okay, now I understand that's their structure, right? But because of the karate and the judo, you know, stances and white geese and everything, they look like dirty for me in my
Yeah.
eyes. But I did not know that is my culture,
Mhm.
right? So I have to study the history of Mindanao. What happened to the people of Mindanao? What are the influences of the people and culture and society of Mindanao in general? And I found it so much different from the other parts of the Philippines. Okay, so for us, we got influence from the Visayans because we're technically mixed, no?
Yeah.
But regionally, we have influences as far as the old kingdoms of India, no, the
Yeah.
empires of India. So that's why I tried to understand the basic movement of FMA as based on its origins.
Mhm.
And then I have to patch them up and develop the flow that is called as Kamot Mindanao today, right? So
Nice. Yeah.
the main objective of Kamot Mindanao is to go home safe,
True.
especially and in time, especially for those married guys.
Just to go home in one piece. Yeah.
Yes, because our wives are scary.
Yeah. And let the wife beat you when you go home.
Exactly. So that's the main concept of Kamot Mindanao. That's why, and in this system, we always presume that the enemy is the biggest, fastest, most skilled.
And strongest, yeah.
Ah, pogi points na lang naiwan sa atin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So, in that kind of scenario, when you have to engage in a fight, and in that kind of inequality, where the opponent has everything and you don't have, then you have to make things count, right? Every movement, every shots fired
Should count.
should count, or else
It's
no
nothing.
other chance.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why we developed that one shot, one kill thing.
Yeah,
Is
that's
because if I have to punch you and I'm not strong, then I have to punch you in the precise target to make it count.
yeah.
If I have to move, I should move in a precise movement.
True. Yeah. Oh, what happened? We got cut off.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Crack on.
So
Yeah.
that's how it goes with Kamot Mindanao.
Sure. Yeah. That's very interesting. So it's all those martial arts influences that
Yes, yes, yes.
you've learned and you've actually practiced that
Mm-hmm.
you come up with Kamot Mindanao.
Yeah.
Yes, I was talking to Kokoy about it, and then when he mentioned to me that Kamot Mindanao is basically not not your typical FMA, so it's more of a hybrid FMA. FMA
Yeah, yes, I would say yes.
is a hybrid FMA, which is basically, as what you just told me, its main focus is self-preservation or self-defense.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
So,
non-sport. Yeah.
and with that being said, we focus more on the weapons movement, which becomes the guide for our hand movement.
Yeah.
So technically, the hand becomes a weapon. You yourself becomes a weapon,
Yes.
and everything that goes into the hand is a bonus
That's just an extension. Yeah.
extension. Yes. So
Extension.
you have a pen in the hand. You say thanks
Hmm.
because that's an additional bonus,
It is. Yeah. It is.
right?
Good. Yeah. That's nice. So, can you tell me more about your gym over there, Mike? What's what are the type of students do you take? I mean, do you take from what age up to the
Yeah,
oldest?
actually, my personal preference is I would like to have students who are mature enough.
Mhm.
So I would say 15 and up, right?
Yeah.
But since June-ish or around July, we opened this gym. And as a martial arts school, you have to be flexible. There are kids who wants to play around,
Yes.
so you have to adjust your programs to fit into the childhood things of the children.
Yes.
So we have foam, things like that program. I have to apply whatever I learned during my judo years, because in judo we can play around and it's safe,
Yeah.
but you don't play around with machete and it's still safe. No,
No. Yeah.
because like in Kamot Mindanao, the standard tools, like you want to defend yourself against a machete, then I have to hack you with a true machete.
Hmm.
I don't need to hack you with a plastic when you are trying to defend against a metal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, I put some tape on the sharp part
Yeah.
for safety, but then I have to hit you with a real machete. And you don't do that with kids, right?
No.
Because as personally, I don't want to ruin the childhood of a child. That's
Yes.
why many parents ask me, like, I have a 5 years old, 6 years old. Can you teach him something? What do you think is the best martial arts for them? I told them, teach them to play around.
Yeah.
teach them to play ball, teach them to, I don't know if you know patintero, I don't know the
Yeah.
English,
Just, just, just,
dakpanay.
just let them move. Yeah.
Yes, let them move around, play. Hey, if they hurt each other, they will know how to resolve the issues.
Yes.
Let them be while they're kids, right?
Yeah.
When we become adult, things become serious, right?
Mhm.
Kids, okay, I know there are adults who are acting like kids too. And they ended up doing kid stuff, and yet the result is not kid stuff. It's
No,
something serious, right? Because an adult playing like kid with a knife is dangerous.
it is. It is.
So
Yeah.
it's not child stuff. So we as they grow, they become to understand things, the importance of things, and they become to up. They will they will appreciate things more better.
Good. Yeah.
So that's why for the kid stuff, okay, let them be kids. That's
Yes.
why we have this,
Foam sticks.
the
Yeah. Like
foam, the
noodles.
swimming pool foam.
Yeah. Like the noodles. Yeah. The
Yeah, the
noodles.
noodles. So we have
Yeah.
to cut them and so they can hit
Play.
each other as much as they could, and yet it's still safe.
Yes.
And I
That's
even
why.
have foams for them, but still let them use headgears.
Mhm.
Okay, so
That's what I use with with the children in my class. I have a
mm,
foam noodle,
yeah.
so they're not gonna hurt themselves when they're practicing. So
Unfortunately, the like even Kukois, they're complaining they scratch their hands. Come on. I mean, okay, I have to consider I grew up in a bad form of martial arts when you have to do push-ups and punch the wall, right?
yes, yes, yes.
But that is old school.
Old school, yeah.
Everyone's got their manicures and clean nails and everything, and everyone's complaining they scratch the skin of their hands. And I have to let them practice punching tires.
Mhm.
The tires that we hit with a stick
Yeah,
or a pipe. So they need to punch it with their hands too.
as well, yeah. Okay.
And no gloves.
No gloves.
I,
Oh, so old school, yeah.
now I have to settle a little bit half and half.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Otherwise, they start complaining.
I remember, what do you call that in karate? Is that wooden thing with tires?
Makiwara. No,
Makiwara, yeah.
if I put makiwara in my school, nobody would touch it but me.
I remember using that when I was
Everybody
doing
will say,
karate.
"What's that, makiwara? Oh, that's a good decoration."
They might think it's an antique,
Yeah, and nobody
furniture,
touches it,
an
man.
antique furniture. Oh,
Mm.
that's good.
But it's good though. And that's in fact with karate, that's one that binds us, me, because I did not know. I just know it that Kakui Kanyete has a background in karate, right?
Karate. Yeah.
And the guy who taught him karate was Sensei Lando Silao.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and when he taught Kakoi, he was with my GM.
Mm,
So literally, my GM learns his karate from the same guy.
that taught Kakoy then.
Yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunately or fortunately, a couple of years after I studied with the same guy because he was my dad's friend during school days. No,
Okay. Yeah.
and I did not know. Like it binds us like three generations on the same guy and on the same art. He called his art the kangaroo karate.
Kangaroo karate.
But technically, it's Shurin Ryu Karate, the old Okinawan
Okinawan
style.
karate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a bit hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and self-defense oriented.
Yeah. I think Okinawan karate is more geared to the self-defense rather than
Yes, yes. Which is
rather.
good. Which is good. That's why it's part of the like our our strikes now in Kamot Mindanao is technically based on the concepts of kangaroo. We call it
Okay.
kangaroo karate, no?
Yeah.
So plus I have to adjust because of people today, we are not that hard and strong,
Hmm.
but anatomically we can still do it. You just have to realign your bones and things
It,
like that. I mean,
yeah.
that you're in the
Yeah.
medical field, right?
Actually, that's one of the thing that people think when they're wearing gloves. They think they can punch,
Yes.
but they're not really punching properly because they can hit it and it sounded nice when they hit the pad, so they think
Mm.
it's okay. But that's what you said, like the way your hand is aligned,
Yeah.
it affects a lot on your striking power. So if you got
Mm.
gloves, then you can get away with that hand alignment.
Yeah.
But with no glove or empty hand, there's no other way. But you really need to align that hand,
Yes. And
or else
also the concept of, because in Kamot, because of our Sinawali movements, right? The hand movements, that's FMA standard.
Mhm.
You cannot just chamber strikes as
Yes,
karate
yes, yes.
strikes. So we start we start striking from wherever the hand is from.
Yes,
So, and you cannot have, we all know force is equal to mass times acceleration. So that acceleration, you need to have distance and time, right?
hmm,
So by that, you still have to use, I'm still using the Okinawan way of taking the power from the ground,
that's
using the torque of your hips.
yes.
But
That kind of
no more
technique.
chambering on the sides
No, no.
because of the Sinawali, or the nature of FMA, right? So
Yes,
all in the total would still be the same impact, but on the right target, it is devastating, I would say. You
and
can ask Coco, he's always my punching dummy.
it is it is actually quicker
Yes, it is faster,
if
yes.
you're not chambering your punches. So any
Yes.
punch that you chamber, yes, they might be heavy, but you can see it traveling from a distance.
Mm.
So
And
there's no
also
surprise
because
in
of
there.
the judo aikido background and jiu-jitsu in general, we tend to put up a guy right away.
Yeah.
But we don't throw them. I call them takedowns because it's shorter. Like
Mm.
you
Yeah.
don't, we
You don't
don't
stop
make
them.
you, we don't make you fly and
Yes.
enjoy the flight. We would rather just put you down.
Straight away. Yeah.
Yeah, straight away. Because a good guy, a good fighter on his back, it's better to fight him that way than a good fighter standing.
Yes. Yes. It's hard.
But plus, he could not catch us when we run.
Yeah. I guess so. I guess so. Yeah.
So that's
So
the tendency.
how long have you been coaching Kamot Mindanao in Canada now, Mike?
Since 2012, actually. Because
2012.
before 2012, I was teaching the Dupacs.
The Dupacs, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Dupacs, yeah.
So it's been a while. 2008, 8 years.
It's been 8 years now.
Yeah,
It's been
the Kamut Mindanao in general was been being taught. The tactical movements of Kamut Mindanao, I some of them I took from, because I finished my high school in Ateneo de Cagayan.
okay, yeah.
So one of my buddies,
No, no,
eh?
no, no. Savior.
Xavier, yes.
Yeah, Savior
One of
again.
my buddies there was ended up in the U.S. Navy SEALs.
Okay.
So we chat, we do everything, and he likes the FMA too because he's Filipino. He's proud to Filipino. So
Yeah.
I have to get the combative perspective of that art. You know,
Mhm. Yes, yes.
when your ultimate goal is to eliminate an opponent,
Yes.
not to beat him up, but to literally like
Stop him.
eliminate him, right?
Yeah, stop him.
Because of the nature of the job. So I have to take it. I want to know their perspective in doing things. Like as martial artists, we all know how to punch and even correctly, right?
Yeah,
But punching with the intention of eliminating an opponent
that's
is
different.
that's different than just I just want to punch you because I hate you.
Yes, yes,
You know
yes.
what I mean? So I have to draw the line because as I found out, Canada's self-defense laws is weird.
It's different. Yeah,
Yeah.
different.
So
Yeah,
I consider always I give lectures, tactical lectures to the class every time, and I have to digest those kind of things so I can explain to the students the civilian perspective of self-defense.
yes,
Because I can see, like even in YouTube now, you can see so many demos of Filipino martial arts, especially the knife ones. No?
yeah,
And it looks like they try to make a hamburger patty out of the opponent.
yes, 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 yes.
If you do that anywhere where the laws are stricter, you're going to jail fast.
It is. It is. It is.
No
Yeah,
defense or whatever. No, no way. You're going to jail,
mhm.
right? And then that's where you practice your FMA more.
Yeah. You need it in there more.
Right? But then when you try to preserve yourself, it is intentionally preserving your way of life as well.
Mhm.
Yes, you live, but you end up in jail, you technically lose your life.
There's no. You've already lost your life there. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So self-defense is trying to preserve whatever situation you have now.
Mm.
So like most of that we drop out some of our students, no?
Mhm.
People who had some sort of intention to literally hurt other people.
Yeah.
No, you're drop out of the program. Why? Because this is intended to preserve yourself, not to beat up other people, you know. But when we engage, well, we'll go back to the one shot, one kill thing.
Yeah.
Right? You don't just engage, but if you engage, you have to come out clean. Because
Yes.
in this in a fight, there's always three parties: you, the other guy, and the law.
Yeah.
So whoever is the friend of the law wins.
Yeah. That's the
But you have
thing
to realize too.
when people practice martial arts, that's why you were talking about. When
Hmm.
you go on YouTube, a lot of them are teaching like combative arts, but you're a civilian.
Yes.
You need to focus on the civilian aspect.
Yes.
Unless you're in the military, you're a policeman,
Yeah.
special ops. Yes, combatives is fine. But
In fact, if you could, if you observe nowadays, we have lots of problems with policing. Why? Because many people who have the war experience, like the ex-militaries,
yeah,
we absorb them into the police.
but it's still
So
civilian
they have the different. They are
mentality.
not bad people,
But
only different mentality and perspective, especially when you are under pressure.
mhm.
That's true. You could be the best Bruce Lee, but sometimes you ended up just Jackie Chan in under pressure.
Yeah.
You move like comedians, no?
I think that's why you said some people, they, especially in the military, it's hard. It's a hard way
Mm,
of life. They've been indoctrinated
yes,
to do this. Yeah,
yes,
come in and do this. It's so hard to take that out of their mindset. Not that simple. I'm not.
mm,
I have no experience, but I think it's not. I'm sure it's not that easy. I mean, in anything that
yeah,
you've been learning, it's not easy. It's like for
yeah,
me, I'm a nurse. So
yes,
when I see somebody get hurt,
yeah.
I'm a nurse, so I have to
Your
really,
tendency is to fix them.
yeah, to put and help. That's just me.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's me. It's
Mm,
it's who I am. So same as with the soldier, that's
Yeah.
who they are. So when they go back to a civilian life, it's not simple. It's
Yes,
not easy.
I was just lucky because I have been a shipboard training officer for some time while teaching in the university. Shell requires me to make programs to bridge the gap between the ship and the school.
Okay.
That's one of my job as a Shell engineer.
Yes.
Okay, that's why they send me to London, to Manchester, to train for these kind of things. Because if a cadet, we call them cadet, student, right,
Yeah.
was trained at school and ended up on the ship with a perspective that's very different, it's unsafe,
Mhm.
right? Especially because in the life on the ship is different, and
Yeah.
you sometimes you are required to perform under pressure.
Mhm.
Well,
Uh,
you're from the Isles,
yeah.
so when
Everything,
ships are
everything
rolling at
changes.
30 degrees left and right, but you need to work,
Yes.
that's different story. So my job as a training instructor is to design programs to bridge that gap between the two. So I'm lucky because right now when I try to bridge the gap between a military and a civilian doing the same thing on an opponent,
Yes.
then I know where to put things.
Yeah. You have the
So we're just
experience.
lucky.
That's good. That's good. Because it's not that easy. Like when a person is under pressure,
Mm,
everything changes. And then if you're not used to pressure,
yes. You
sometimes
you cannot function.
you cannot function. So when you train, if you don't pressure test what you're training,
Yes.
there's no way you can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, in actual fight.
Yeah.
So that's what you said. Like you
That's why
should.
in Kamot Mindanao, I teach them, like Pukoy, I teach them,
Yeah.
like, I ask them, have you had best friends? Because I live like only a year of my life at a specific place at a time in Mindanao. I was
Mhm.
going around, so I don't have the time to develop best friends.
Yes.
So I asked them, like, do you have best friends? Yes, and I wish I could see him and things like that. So I told them, I want you to feel that way if you are in front of someone with a machete and he's trying to hack you. You know, when you see your best friends, you want to just like do the five and embrace and everything like that. That kind of loving gesture. I want you to have that same feeling when you saw a guy with a machete trying to hurt you. So if you're in a fight, someone pulled out a machete, I want you to feel like, hey man, long time no see.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything changes. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of running, you go there and embrace him and
Mhm.
put him down, obviously.
Yes. I think, but when people are thinking about self defense, they always have this misconception, like they want to learn technique. But
Yes,
but for me, I think self defense is you can avoid all of that if you put yourself in the right place, in
yes.
the right time. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can avoid that. But
That's the reason
people,
why in Kamot Mindanao, we teach them concepts.
yes. Mhm.
This is just a hand with five fingers. What is the function of all these parts and how can we use this effectively? That's just the concept of one hand. I don't know how many techniques you could write by just one concept, but it's up to you. But the test is this: you should function under pressure,
Yeah.
as simple as you can be. So everything we do are simple things. I maybe some would like to do backflip and split, but not my cup of tea, so to say.
Those are just unnecessary movements. Yeah.
If
So
I just have to stand up, put you down, that's it. Go
yeah.
home before
That,
my wife's go scary.
yeah. Before she asks you to clean the house.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very interesting because, as I was saying earlier, I also had a student who wants me to teach, like self-defense and all that. So I can teach you all of that, but first thing you need to be aware uh, is self-awareness, basically.
Yes.
Self-awareness. If you're walking in a dark alley, do you really want
Mm.
to walk into that dark alley? Is there any
Yes.
other way? Why walk in that dark alley? Yeah,
Yes.
go somewhere else. Or if you're in a restaurant, don't turn your back behind the entrance. You don't
Yes.
know who's gonna come in. So
Mm.
find a space where your back is on the wall so you can see everything.
Yes.
Simple things. Or
Yeah.
like know where's the fire exit.
Mm.
Those exit ways. So if there are anything breaks, a
Yeah.
fire or a fight, then you can just get away. If But when you need to engage, as what you said, then
Mm.
you have to really be committed to
Yes.
engage. You can't
Mm.
really engage half-hearted, because if it's self-defense or
Yeah.
preservation per se,
Mm.
there's no 50-50 on it. It should be 100% in, yeah?
Yeah. So that's why in the drills that we do, like I want you to be sure in everything you do. If you say that you can throw me, it means there's no such thing as perfect, right? But
No.
it means 99% you can throw me. Why? Because you've been throwing people different sizes, different resistance for a while.
Mhm.
So if there is such thing as I stab you with a knife and you ended up throwing me, then you have to throw me. Literally.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, make him this way and then from there throw him. No.
Yes, yes, yes.
He attacks, you hit him and throw him.
I
Get
mean,
you. Okay, as a partner, my job is to feed you.
yeah.
Works two ways. To feed you, like if you don't parry, I'm going to hit your face. Not that hard, but you get hit,
Yes, yes.
right? So
The
there is
intention.
that
Intent.
certain like worry, like a certain threat that
Yeah.
you need to really parry it, right?
Yeah.
And you really need to move, or else you get hit.
True. Yes.
Not hurt, but hit.
Hit. Yeah.
You
It's
know,
it's gonna wake you up then.
yes. And so, if I have to do that to you as the feeder, as the receiver, you need to do your thing to me too.
Hmm.
And that's the reason why we study falling and everything. We studied to get hit so you don't freeze when you get hit in the combat, in the fight.
True.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
We're not trying to hurt each other, but we're trying to hit each other. And that's the reason if you don't get hit, or if you don't want to get hit, then you have to do something about it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
because training, we have a saying, fight like you train. That's the reason why you train like you fight,
Hmm.
right? It goes back in a
Yeah.
round. So, but as a training instructor, we must put our training programs the nearest to reality as possible,
Yes.
so that when that reality comes, the guy is more or less familiar with the
What?
scenario.
Yeah. What to do? Yes.
Yeah,
It's
because I've seen many here in Vancouver claim to be this G master, grandmaster, whatever titles, and then you ended up. I'm not against any people who are trying to make their own system,
yeah.
because I did
Yes. Yes.
twice.
Yes. Yes.
So it's not my fault, but I did. But as much, my advice is this: try to make sure that the concepts that you have in your system doesn't contradict each other.
Yeah. They
Because
could
the
flow.
last thing you need is this: under pressure, you might end up stopping to think
What
which
to
one
do?
should I use?
Yes, yes.
Should I use judo or should I use aikido or karate, or because you have so many black belts already in your hands.
But
And while you're thinking,
you don't know how to
and
link them.
yeah, and while you are thinking, I'm stabbing you with a barbecue stick.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's the, when you try to merge, like in Kamot Mindanao, we are open. Every time we learn, we see something, oh, I think this is good. But this something new,
Mhm.
I have to adjust them so it should go with our own movement.
All right. Yeah. So it
And
fits.
because that's what happened to me in the first place when I'm trying to put dupacs in our jiu-jitsu. So that's what literally happens. That's why I ended up with Kamot Mindanao. Because when you try to find the movements are different, then you get stuck on the middle
Yeah.
and then you get hit.
Yeah.
So the
That's good.
movements should be the same, the concept. But this is good. I like this. I saw this in YouTube. Then change the movement so it fits your own movement.
True. Yeah.
And then you have only one movement. You know what I
Everything.
mean? I
Yeah.
because I feel sorry. Here in Vancouver we have lots of grandmasters, masters. They mix things up and then ended up with the different concepts contradicting each other.
Concepts that don't actually flow.
Yes, they will become out of flow. So
Yeah.
like
So
I can throw you and then I can punch you, but I cannot throw and punch you.
yeah.
So then you will end up with a menu of things. Like you have to select which one should I do to you, and then
You're, you're,
decide, and
you're,
then
you're like having a remote control for the karaoke, yeah?
yeah, yes. But no, under pressure, we need to move naturally.
Yes. Good. That's very good insight about what you do with Kamot Mindanao. Mike, I'm just gonna give the floor to you for final words regarding those new people who want to join Kamot Mindanao when they're down in Vancouver, and for those people who wants to start martial arts. So I'll give the floor to you. Final words, Mike.
Yeah, the first and foremost, thank you so much for the
You're welcome.
opportunity. And for many of us, we forgot that self defense is technically our inborn characteristic as a human. If you could look around, it's natural. If you could look around, animals do it.
Mhm.
Even plants have their own way of preserving their own. We just so happen that the thing that we call civilization prevents us from developing the things that are naturally in us. No, so and it's a good thing. It's a good form of exercise. Martial arts is a good form of exercise, especially FMA. It's practical.
Yeah.
It's very useful, and not only that, the concepts there. I mean, here I've seen people using the same Kali principles
Yeah.
while they teach shooting,
Mhm.
and even I'm not right now. I'm using martial arts principle while doing the school martial arts school business. No,
Okay.
I mean the concept of martial arts in general is technically the same as life.
Yes, it's life.
No,
Yeah,
no wonder you can hear the old school senseis. They will say martial arts is life
it is. Yeah.
because technically it is. It's just a matter of not because you have lots of techniques, belts, and uniforms. I like uniforms, but martial arts is about life,
It is.
living, how you move, and how you deal with each other. And like I always tell them, the human body is designed for loving each other.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay? Because if we are designed to fight, then we must have had shells in our backs, like
Yeah.
the Ninja Turtles. But
hard,
because
hard,
life,
hard
life
things.
is in general is respecting and loving each other.
Yes.
We have lots. I think you're the nurse, but I believe we got 99% of senses around our body to express love rather than hate,
Yeah. True.
right?
True. Yeah.
I mean, a tap on the shoulder could go a long, long way. A
Yeah.
punch on the face will only take like maybe one week to get rid of the black eye.
And somebody's gonna give you another one as well. Yeah. After you give one,
Yeah,
he's gonna chase
right?
you down. Yeah.
But a tap on the shoulder,
That's
it
it.
could go a long, long way. You
True.
never know, it could mean life to the other guy. No,
True.
so while we are in this, with using our hands, our skills in trying to hurt each other, let us not forget that we are made to love and respect each other.
All right, that's nice words,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Thank you very much. There you
Thank
go,
you.
guys. We got Mike Sanchez of Kamot Mindanao, based in Vancouver, Canada. So thank you very much, Sensei Mike. And
Thank
then,
you. Salamat.
yes, thank you. And I hope you enjoyed this episode and catch our next episode again. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
You take care.
You too, man. You too.